Hello, it is 11 a.m. in Zurich and in Belgrade. I'm Monita Rajpal. You're watching World One, live from London. Football's world governing body is in damage control mode. Claims of corruption have rendered this week's election for FIFA president virtually meaningless. Current chief Sepp Blatter is set to stand unopposed. Two of the organization's most senior officials were suspended on Sunday following allegations of bribery. One of them is Vice President Jack Warner. Blatter has his critics, including his own deputy. The Vice President Jack Warner, who's among the two executives suspended, says the FIFA chief must also be investigated.
I said before, FIFA will feel a tsunami coming. Trust me, you haven't seen it yet. I have it in lucky. Because at the end of the day, Blatter has to be stopped.
Well, it's been a staggering 24 hours for FIFA. Let's get more on this from CNN World Sports' Pedro Pinto, who joins us now live. And Pedro, it's supposed to be the beautiful game, but it seems as though what happens behind the scenes is a completely different story.
The plot continues to thicken, Monita. Just when you believe that a particular issue or controversy is going to be resolved, something else.
Pedro, thank you very much for that. Needless to say, there's a lot that's been happening in terms of reaction around the world. Let's take a look at what some of the main papers around the world are saying about this. We've got the Sydney Morning Herald with a headline, "Something Fishy." It goes on to say, no matter what happens next, Mohammed bin Hammam's exit from this race for the FIFA presidency only adds to the stench of corruption. Then the International Herald Tribune has the headline, "Blatter cleared, but allegations still plague FIFA." It says maybe it is time to tell Mr. Blatter what some think from outside his glass house. Even if FIFA is not the corrupt organization its accusers say, then he has led it through an era in which nobody trusts anybody anymore. And The Guardian has the headline, "Blatter in clear as FIFA officials suspended." In the article, it says, after nearly 13 years as the president of FIFA, Blatter has, in the eyes of many football fans, come to personify all that is wrong with the world's most popular sport. Lawyers for Ratko Mladic have filed an appeal against his extradition. They say the former commander of the Bosnian Serb army is too ill to face a trial at the UN War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague. Thousands of his supporters rallied in front of Serbia's parliament in Belgrade yesterday in what started out as a peaceful protest. He was arrested on Thursday after 16 years in hiding. UN prosecutors say he ordered the killing of 8,000 Muslims in Srebrenica in 1995 during the war in Bosnia and oversaw the siege of Sarajevo, during which 10,000 people were killed. CNN's senior international correspondent Nick Robertson is in Belgrade. He joins us now. Nick, what's the likelihood that this appeal would actually go through?
It seems like zero likelihood, Monita. I just talked to the chief prosecutor here. He says he's happy with the way things are going.
Weather in the Midwest showing any signs of letting up. Let's go to our meteorologist, Ivan Cabrera, at the World Weather Center with more on that. Ivan.
Yeah, thankfully so. You saw the clear sky there in the video, and also a little bit of wind. That's an area of high pressure that's in charge. And with a low to the north and west, we're bringing in some...
Ivan, thank you very much. Here are some of the stories we're talking about here on World One. U.S. Republican Sarah Palin turned heads on Sunday, cruising into Washington on the back of a Harley. Dressed in black leather and heels, she joined the annual Rolling Thunder Rally, a ride to honor U.S. war vets. The attention-grabbing appearance has fueled speculation Palin is getting ready for a run at the presidency in 2012. Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton found himself in a bit of trouble with motor racing bosses after a comment that sounded like he thought they were racist. Hamilton was given 2 penalties at Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix. Afterwards, he said, "Maybe it's because I'm black," borrowing the joke from the comedy character Ali G. Hamilton later said he was sorry and he'd meant it to be funny. And contaminated cucumbers, that's right, that's what we're talking about. They're being blamed for a disease outbreak that's killed 10 people in Germany. The E. coli virus is thought to have entered Germany in cucumbers imported from Spain. Media reports say more than 1,000 people are believed to be infected in Germany. You are watching World One, live from London. Clashes in Yemen have spread to a number of cities as government forces attempt to quash protests against President Ali Abdullah Saleh. In the city of Taiz, water cannon was used to disperse protesters who had staged a 4-month-long sit-in. Egypt says it's throwing out an Iranian diplomat, accusing him of being a spy. A prosecutor in Cairo says the man, Qasem Hosseini, was trying to organize spy rings whilst working at the Iranian embassy. He's also accused of paying people for inside knowledge about the Egyptian military, the economy, and politics. Iran denies Husseini is a spy. Meanwhile, Egypt's former president Hosni Mubarak is now set to go to trial, accused of ordering the killing of protesters. If he's convicted, he could face the death penalty. CNN's Diana Magnay spoke exclusively to the man who will defend him.
How surprised was Hosni Mubarak to hear the charges that have been brought against him?
CNN's Diana Magnay speaking to Hosni Mubarak's defense lawyer. We want to take you now to the city of Herat in western Afghanistan, where witnesses say a gunfight is underway. Loud explosions are being heard, and there are reports of casualties. Jennifer Glass is a journalist there, and she joins us now on the phone. Jennifer, thanks for being with us. What can you see and what can you hear at this point?
Monita, I'm on the rooftop overlooking the provincial reconstruction.
Welcome back. Well, it seems golf's world #1 ranking has been up for grabs every week since Tiger Woods lost it late last year. And is there a new name at top of the game today? Well, Pedro Pinto is here with the answer to that.
I am, and more.
And more.
The answer to that question is yes, there is a new name at the top of the world rankings. That man is Luke Donald. He won the BMW Championship on Sunday and has more sports for a change, actually.
You're talking about Vettel. He's not only dominating Formula One, but he's also dominating the social trending sites as well. As we were saying, #3, it is, as he was saying, Pedro Sebastian Vettel. He wins again at the Monaco Grand Prix. And with people talking about the German driver's good form, I'm assuming they're talking about his driving. There's also some debate about what other drivers have to do to beat him. At #2, secrets of the pyramids. Mysterious markings have been found inside Egypt's Great Pyramid at Giza. The symbols were discovered by a robot in a hidden chamber deep inside the pyramid. The team that found them doesn't know what they mean just yet, but hopes they can shed more light on the ancient civilization. This is a popular article on CNN.com, and you can find a link to it on the World One Facebook page at W1CNN. And at #1, a day to remember. Today is Memorial Day in the United States, a day when the nation remembers its war dead. Traditionally, people lay flowers and plant the U.S. flag at war graves to honor the fallen. This is a top trend online, with people talking about the sacrifices made by U.S. soldiers around the world. You are watching World One, live from London. This is World One, live from London. We are coming up on almost 6 a.m. in New York, noon in Berlin, 7 p.m. in Tokyo. A court ruling in California could have major implications for free speech online. The blogging website Twitter has been ordered to name a user whose online name was on a series of tweets. The ruling was sought by a British local authority, which had been discussed on Twitter. It follows a controversy over Twitter users who defied a British court ruling by naming a footballer despite a legal ban on reporting a sex scandal. Atika Schubert joins us now in the studio with more on this. It's a bit confusing because we're talking about a local council authority here in the UK that went to California to seek this ban. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing thing is this is a tiny little council in South Tyneside, way in the north, and basically there's a dispute among the councillors there. And there were some libelous allegations that were being made on Twitter, on a blog. And so to compel Twitter to find out who was behind these libelous allegations, some of the council members sued in California, and that's critical because there have been suits here, for example, but they haven't affected Twitter as much. But they sued in California, and through that court order, Twitter was then compelled to give up the information behind a few of those microblogging accounts on Twitter.
So they're basically holding Twitter accountable for what's being written by other people.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, what's the question is this the first time that Twitter has been compelled to give up these names? It may not be the case because in the U.S., of course, Twitter has always stated that they will follow legal regulations. If they're required by the court, they will give up names. But what Twitter usually does is, and it did so in this case, it says, if we get a court order demanding this information, we will notify that user, and they therefore can take their own legal action. And so we've seen cases like that happening with WikiLeaks, for example, where the people who own those accounts basically said, you know what, we're going to take legal action to prevent that information from being revealed. So it's an interesting case. What's amazing is it's a tiny little council here in England, and it could have these major implications worldwide.
Well, that's the thing. That's the implications when it comes to free speech and whatever is said. There are a lot of people will say, you know, if they are saying within the 140 characters, you know, the views are their own, but yet they have to be very careful about what they say because it could be libelous. But that, again, it really does talk about the whole idea of free speech and whether what you can and cannot say.
Well, this is the gray area of Twitter. People think of Twitter as their own little personal soapbox where they can talk about whatever they want. But because Twitter's reach is so massive, and because you can go from having just a few dozen followers to suddenly getting tens of thousands of followers in the span of a few hours, does this mean that you should be held accountable the same way a mainstream publisher or media is? So these are the things that we're seeing being tussled out in court. And the thing is, it's internationally as well. So what's legal here in Britain may be different in the United States. And so we're kind of watching that law being developed before our eyes.
I guess it just begs the question. I mean, it begs the point that you can't make accusations unless you've got actual proof.
Well, exactly.
Atika, thank you very much. It's called the greatest spectacle in racing, and Sunday's Indy 500 didn't disappoint. Rookie J.R. Hildebrand was cruising to victory when he crashed on the final turn of the very last lap. World 1 live from London, I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. The news continues, as always, here on CNN.